Fantastic. The hoop of shame is out.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, good morning. You're listening to the dulcet tones of Esther Lynn and E. Casey Leiden for MMA Fighting. We are here in Washington, D.C. for the ESPN 7 official weigh-ins. Overeem versus Rozenstruik.
The Demolition Man versus Biggie Boy.
Yes, the Demolition Man versus Biggie Boy.
And the official weigh-ins are about to start, and we see UFC personnel, discussing how to use the
Hoop of shame.
So if you're a degenerate and watch all the morning weigh-ins, you would remember just a few weeks ago, where was it?
Where were we?
Someone recently used the towel. No, they used his shoulder. Oh, Gastelum.
Yes,
Gastelum. In New York, that was it.
Yeah, New York. We were in New York.
Yeah. He used a shoulder to lean on. So it looks like the UFC. Well, there are female fighters on this card, so I'm not sure if the hoop of shame is for just the female fighters or all the fighters. Should be for all the fighters, but we will see. Suspense.
And the weigh-in should be underway in about 2 minutes.
So once again, this is E. Casey Leiden for MMA Fighting alongside
Esther Lynn.
I was gonna say your name, but
Sorry.
Is that your? No one allowed to say your name other than you.
No. Go ahead.
Esther. Yeah, you're right. You can't say it. It's such a wonderful name. I'm not worthy of just saying your name.
Oh, shush.
Okay.
If you're in the D.C. area, I will be on a MMA Media Symposium panel with Luke Thomas, Karen Bryant, Dan Stupp, Josh Rosenblatt. A bunch of names, actually, that I can't remember now because I'm looking at the fight card for today. At the Grand Hyatt from 12 to 2. So if you're in D.C., come by.
So I see some of our YouTube listeners are asking, what time are Colby and Marty weighing in? They'll be weighing in about a week.
Yes.
7 days from now, they'll be weighing in. So stay tuned.
7 days and 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. Time zones. So Hugo asked, is that Esther? The answer is yes.
Yes, it is.
L. Rod asked, why is it so early? Dude, you blew my mind. I have no idea.
It's because it's
It just depends where you live.
Depends where you live.
It's really late some places. Some places it's really early. Some places it's even earlier. Some places it's even later.
Dennis wants to know if the symposium will be streamed or recorded, and I actually don't know. I will ask right now.
Where are you time-wise? 30 seconds.
Okay, we have a comment from the bad boy Alex K. Lee, and he's informing me that I sound like a nerd. How rude.
And Johnny says that nobody cares about these fights, but has woken up this early to watch the early weigh-ins.
Interesting. Nobody cares, but yet he is awake to watch the weigh-ins. Bored.
MMO is the woman talking. That woman Esther. Yes, that woman Esther. That would be me.
Can I refer to you as that woman? Esther, that woman, then.
I got you.
Let's go.
And we are starting. I'll start.
You need a little quiet air horn. Live.
It's not Nick's fault this time, everybody. We do not need to beat the cameraman up. It's just a commit reason.
Now, as far as drama, if the heavyweights, heavyweight main eventers will make weight, I think the only drama will be if Overeem wakes up in time.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time we had I just remember the only time we really had drama with Overeem was when we had another fight on the East Coast.
Cleveland.
Yes, in Cleveland. And he showed up at the weigh-ins at 11 a.m., which is when they end.
Actually, though, late. He got like
A little bit
he
late.
got like a $200 fine.
Yes.
He
For being
simply
late.
just didn't wake up.
Okay, gonna just
Heavyweight life.
block that dude.
Oh. And Esther is starting a block party already on the comments. And we're in a slight delay.
Any guesses as to who will be the first person to weigh in?
There are some names on here I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
All right, everybody.
Oh, here we go. And our Washington, D.C. commissioners are coming out. What commission is this? Is this
Yeah, Washington, D.C.
D.C., District of Columbia?
Yeah.
D.C., yeah.
All right, everybody, good morning. Welcome to the official weigh-in for UFC Fight Night, Overeem versus Rozenstruik. Our first fighter to the scale in the women's strawweight division, Marina Rodriguez.
115. Move over, Marina.
All right, we've got Marina Rodriguez first to the scale.
Red corner. 115.
She's in the co-main event against Cynthia Calvillo.
She needs to come in at 116.
Yep, the limit is 116 for strawweight. Looks like they're having a little trouble with the scale.
Not sure why they're not just using a digital scale, but this is very dramatic. So, no problem with the commission.
Oh, there we go. Maybe.
115 and a half.
115 and a half for Marina Rodriguez.
115 and a half. All right. John would like to know where Marina Rodriguez is from. She is from Brazil.
Our next fighter up to the scale in the middleweight division, 185, Trevor Smith.
All right. Trevor Hot Sauce Smith is next.
Strike Force alum.
Oh. All right. Trevor Smith weighing in. Smith is not from Washington, D.C., but the state of Washington. And
185.5.
all right, and we got Trevor Smith announcing his own weight, coming in at 185.5. And we are coming back down to straw weight for the next fight. Looks like we have
Mallory Martin.
Violence Queen Mallory Martin here.
Our next fighter to the scale in the women's strawweight division, Mallory Martin.
Happy Halloween for all of you Mallory Martin fans.
She's making her UFC debut. Coming off a big FC victory maybe a month or two ago. She also had a victory in Contender Series.
Anybody have a pick up or a bid to bring to the Columbia?
No one is going to save you, Mallory Martin.
115.5.
It's definitely worth looking up her fights on UFC Fight Pass. So you can relive all the classic Mallory Martin moments. Usually elbowing someone's face into oblivion.
She is a
Our next fighter to the scale in the featherweight division, Bryce Mitchell.
Oh, Bryce Mitchell is gonna...
wait,
Is he needing the hoop? Whoa!
He's country, y'all. He's doing
exciting times. Oh, but the good news, looks like they are using the hoop of shame for the men.
Yay, finally.
We've seen them do this before, but then they stop using it later in the card, so we'll find out.
Okay, featherweight Bryce Mitchell. Let's see what he comes in at.
So you notice they're making them keep their hands above the hoop,
Yep.
and obviously no cornermen are inside that hoop with them.
Be a little crowded. It'll be a little crowded.
Whatever.
Wait till the announcement, baby.
145.2.
All right, 145.2 for Bryce Mitchell.
The 0.2 on a beam scale.
Wow, yeah. Because we would round up to a quarter. All right.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 170-pound welterweight division, Thiago Alves.
Great, we have Thiago Pitbull Alves.
Former welterweight title challenger. Still going at it. Back up to welterweight after a not so fun run at lightweight. He will be fighting Tim Dirty Bird Means. They are very particular on this scale, which is good. All right, double checking. Oh, saying it's over. Let's see.
171.3.
All right.
Oh, 171.3. They're saying is over, so they're going to bring the hoop in.
He should make weight if he's only 0.3 over.
Yeah, I would say your underwear could be a quarter pound.
But then they won't make weight then.
Oh,
That's what you're saying then.
okay. 0.3 pounds.
I really wish they use a digital scale. At this point, it's all subjective, the way they're, because the little weight thing on the end is just swinging.
Yeah. There's never, it's not quite as, you know.
All right, I have a feeling this is going to be a very long weigh-in.
Yes.
It might be for the whole 2 hours just to weigh the first batch. Oh.
Uh-oh.
171.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
You made it. 171.
UFC underwear weighs 0.3 pounds. You now know that.
I feel like they could weigh the underwear beforehand and just, well,
Really? Your scale.
oh,
Excuse me.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 145-pound featherweight division, Billy Orntillo.
All right, let me write that down. 171 for Choco Alves and Billy Florentino. What?
Billy Quan.
Is it Theo?
Billy.
Billy Quarantio.
He is fighting Jacob Coburn at featherweight. And he's weighing in at
145.2.
145.2.
my commissioner has quite the voice.
Yes,
He has a booming voice.
it's great. It's fantastic. It's so nice to be able to hear everything clearly.
Yeah, hearing things is the way to go.
Looks like we've got Iana next. That's Thiago Santos.
Our next fighter to the scale in the women's bantamweight division, Yana Kunitskaya.
Shredded.
Another Invicta FC fighter, Yana Kunitskaya,
The bantamweight champion in,
Yes.
in Invicta.
former bantamweight champ.
Well, actually, no, she.
Oh
Well,
no,
technically, yeah, she won, but then her fight got turned into a no
overturned.
contest.
Yeah.
She lost a rematch, and then she is weighing in at bantamweight today. She will be facing Aspen Ladd.
One 135.1.
All right, 135.1.
And up next, we have a former Invicta strawweight champion, Verna
Jandiroba.
Jandiroba.
The next fighter to the scale in the 115-pound women's strawweight division, Virna Jandiroba.
She gave it a thumbs up.
Yes.
I personally feel she is the best prospect in the strawweight division. She lost her Invicta FC debut against Carla UFC debut against Carla Esparza. It was a close fought decision loss. And she will be facing Mallory Martin.
That should be a good fight.
It will be a good fight. There's no way it won't be.
I can't believe it's the second fight on the card.
115 even.
Championship weight.
All right, Verna makes champ weight at 115. So, all right. Second fight of the night is set there.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 135 bantamweight division, Cody Stamen.
Cody Stamen is next.
If you get a chance, watch Cody Stamen's scrum from yesterday. Quite the opinionated fighter. Had lots of opinions on Frankie Edgar and Jose Otto and Rothwell.
Who he had about, got injured right in June, so he wasn't able to fight.
He'll be fighting Yudong Song.
Yep.
135.2.
And he comes in at 135.2. All right. Looks like we already have somebody waiting in the wings.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 145-pound featherweight division, Jacob Kilburn.
All right, Jacob Kilburn will be fighting Billy Corantillo.
Kilburn's opponent has already weighed in and made weight.
He is 8-2.
145.3.
And 145.3. All right.
Weighing in 0.1 pounds over his opponent.
Oops.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 155-pound lightweight division, Matt Wyman.
All right. We've got Matt Wyman next.
Longtime UFC veteran. Wyman is coming off a loss to Luis Pena after a 3 or 4 year hiatus from the UFC.
155.3.
And makes weight 155.3.
Hand across the chest.
Here in our nation's capital. We've got the
Our next fighter to the
skyscraper
scale
next.
in the heavyweight division, Stefan Struve.
Stefan Skyscraper Struve. Now, do you know why they call him a skyscraper?
No, why do they call him a
I
skyscraper?
have no clue. No clue. I've asked around. No one can figure it out.
Oh, I thought he went to architecture school or something.
I've heard rumors. Yeah, he was an architecture student. Loved the studying buildings, skyscrapers.
see this, but I'm zoomed all the way out and I can't get his full body in. We're not very close, so.
265.3.
All right, 265.3. Oh, and he needs the pose next to the scale
Over the banner, all right?
because he's too tall for the banner.
He would have been sticking up over. That's not a pretty shot.
Our next fighter to the scale in the 135-pound bantamweight division, Sun Yong-dong, everyone.
It is Mr. Actually, I never actually heard his name spoken, but I'm gonna guess it's Song Yadong. Yes.
The other.
135.2.
135.2. He comes in at the identical weight as his opponent, Cody Stamen. So Song Yadong on weight, and that fight is official.
Our next fighter to the scale in the middleweight division, Mma Journalist.
All right. In the first fight of the night, Mahmoud Muradov, who is fighting Trevor Smith. Who has quite a few fights, 23-6, and coming off a win over Alessio Di Chirico at UFC on ESPN Plus 18 in September. This is his second fight in the UFC.
$185.3. Yeah. Woo.
185.3. This fight is official with Trevor Hot Sauce Smith. They will be the curtain jerker for the UFC
Next up in the
DC card.
135-pound bantamweight division, Rob Font.
And Rob Font is here to weigh in. Where are Lola and Luna?
Yeah, this is just, I gotta say, this is disappointing. He has two dogs. I don't know where they are. I don't know if the dogs refuse to wear Reebok gear or this is outrageous, to be honest.
He will be fighting Ricky Simone.
135.1.
And had won his last fight against Sergio Pettis last year.
Okay, and that looks like that's our first group of fighters.
Great, let's recap here. To recap, no one in the main event has weighed in yet. In the co-main, we have Marina Rodriguez coming in at 115.5. Cynthia Calvillo has not come in yet. Then Stefan Struve came in at 265.3, just at the heavyweight limit. Ben Rothwell has not weighed in. Aspen Ladd has not weighed in, but her opponent, Yana Kunitskaya, has weighed in at 135.1. The next fight, Cody Stamen versus Song Yadong, is 135.2. Both guys came in at 135.2. Rob Font just came in at 135.1, and he will be facing Ricky Simone, who has not come in yet. Thiago Alves is at 171, and he will be fighting Tim Means, who also has not showed up yet. The next fight is a featherweight bout between Billy Quarantillo and Jacob Coburn, and both featherweights made weight. Billy at 145.2 and Jacob Coburn at 145.3. Then Bryce Mitchell, 145.2. He'll be fighting Matt Sales, who has not come in yet. Joe Selecki will be fighting Matt Wyman, who came in at 155.3, and Joe Selecki has not come yet. Verna Jandiroba came in at 115 on the dot, and she'll be fighting UFC newcomer and Invicta FC's Mallory Martin, who came in at 115.5. And then the first fight of the night will be Trevor Hot Sauce Smith, who came in at 185.5 against Mahmoud Muradov, 185.3. That leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fighters left to weigh in.
Now, of those fighters, the ones I think we may have a bit of, who in the past have some trouble making their weight. Of course, Aspen Ladd. So we hope that she can make the bantamweight limit safely.
And Cynthia Calvillo.
Ricky Simone and everyone else. Yeah, I think they're just late sleepers.
Yeah, it is kind of early, so.
Good. Grab some coffee. Thank you for tuning in. I'm very interested to see if any fighters will walk out to some minor threat, some rites of spring. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, someone's got to represent DC.
Yeah. Maybe some bad brains. No, this is home of bad, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll be. I've heard rumors that Ben Rothwell will come out to Stepping Stone. I'm not sure. It might have been a lie. Overeem is gonna, ditch the techno and walk out to, any Bad Brain song, really. Which Bad Brain song? Which would be a good Bad Brain song for Overeem to come out to? We'll go with Super Touch.
Yeah. All right. So, again, if you are just tuning in, this is Esther Lynn and EKC Leiden. We are live here at the UFC on ESPN 7 official weigh-ins in Washington, D.C. Overeem versus Rozenstruik card. And neither Overeem or Rozenstruik have weighed in. And we have 9 fighters left. And so, salute. So we have 9 fighters left to weigh in. They have 90 minutes. It's 9:30 a.m. here in Washington, D.C. And they have until 11 a.m. to weigh in. And then actually, right after, will be the face-offs. We're going to have the face-offs right after. And
So, of course, this is the UFC's first time back to DC in 7 years. They were here last for UFC on Versus, which was headlined with Dominic Cruz versus Demetrius Johnson at bantamweight for the title. Washington, D.C., of course, is famous for its hardcore music scene with bands like Minor Threat, Bad Brains, Fugazi, of course, Rites of Spring, Government Issue, The Teen Idols, The Faith. Oh, Everyone Loves Dag Nasty. So, I think that's really all Washington is really known for, just, the 80s punk rock hardcore scene. I'm not sure. Oh, they also have a baseball team that won the World Series against some team from Texas. I think that's about it. I think nothing else in Washington. I think a couple museums. That's about it.
oh, the National Gallery is my favorite.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
what is it?
It's an art museum.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. The full name is the National Gallery of Art.
The National Gallery of Art.
Oh, also the museum. The museum is fantastic. Actually, one of the few museums here in DC that you actually have to pay to get into, but it is totally worth it. The last time I was here, the last time I went to the museum, though, was about 7 years ago during the press conference for Cruz versus Johnson, and I went into the Pulitzer Prize-winning photo hall, and pretty much cried my way through it. It was very sad.
Okay, that doesn't sound. Why are you trying to sell people going this? Like, so you have to pay money and you're gonna cry. That's your selling point.
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
It's beautiful. It's the history of the press. Media. That's what we are. We're media.
That's the first thing you said. You got to pay for it.
Well, no, because in DC, most of the museums are free.
The Smithsonian's free?
Yeah.
What? Why are we here? Okay, we got to go. So, just to recap, most museums are free, and if you want to come to the weigh-ins at this hotel, parking for over 2 hours is $70. Basically, make sure you take a ride-share service if you want to visit this hotel. Alright, I'm looking at some of the comments, and there seems to be some confusion. Tony Ferguson is not here.
Colby Covington is also not here. He's on next week's
He's
card,
on next week's card.
which we'll be at. Someone would like to know what time is it. It is 9:34 a.m.
Do you have a website for that?
What time is it now.com?
Yeah. So we have Kurt6447. He thinks Bad Religion is the best punk band.
But they're from Los Angeles.
They're a Los Angeles band.
We're talking about DC right now, as we're in DC.
We have a comment that is not Burt Watson.
Yeah, that's not Burt Watson,
That
guys.
is not Burt Watson.
That is a member of the Washington, D.C. Combat Sports Commission. So, once again, this is Esther Lynn and E. Casey Leiden for MMAfighting.com. We are here at the UFC on ESPN 7, Overeem versus Rozenstruik weigh-ins.
Rob Simpson has a very good question. Do they have any free food for the media there? There is a...
Yeah, there's pastries and coffee.
I would say for hotel croissants, they were definitely above average. A nice fruit spread. I am glad there's no wasted space for honeydew. We've had issues in the past where they bring out honeydew and useless fruit. If you disagree that honeydew is not a useless fruit, come to this hotel, pay your $70, and fight me. We have a question from Melancholic Spook. Esther, what's your favorite film?
My favorite film? Oh, well, I've got a lot of favorite films.
Right now.
Right now,
Tell me your favorite film. Someone goes, hey, I gotta watch a movie right now. What are you watching?
Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Life.
There you go. Carl Berry asks, what does the E stand for?
And E. Casey Leiden?
It stands for entertainment.
Yes. entertainment.
Oh,
Did someone just call?
we've been informed that Dave Grohl is a DC resident. He was raised here, at least. Oh,
Nope.
we are hearing Big Ben is on his way down.
Jonathan would like to know how the coffee was. It was pretty good. It was okay.
It's okay.
It's
It was of temperature.
it's no Australian long black, but what are you gonna do?
There was a good variety of creamers. There was some soy, half and half, 2%.
No oat milk though.
No oat milk. Skim, which is skim. Who drinks skim? What kind of person drinks skim milk? Jeez, get out
And
of
coffee.
Here. Get out of here. You're sick. You're sick. Jeez. Oh. So who else is from DC? Just we found out Dave Chappelle is from DC. That's all in it.
Melancholic Spook. Yes, I have seen Chungking Express.
Just want to say good morning to all 696 people in the entire world who are here with us. How many billion people are on Earth?
6.
About 6 billion or so. So six something billion people right now,
There's 6.
and there are almost 700 of you right here with us watching a scale. This is
In a
good.
ballroom in Washington, D.C. Oh, here come the commissioners.
Oh,
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
next fighter to the scale in the 265-pound heavyweight division, Ben Rothwell.
Big Ben in the short shorts.
Okay. Ben Rothwell is coming off a 3-fight losing streak.
265.2.
Also at the heavyweight limit here with 265.2. So it looks like he had to cut a little bit of weight.
This might be the heaviest heavyweight fight in UFC history. 265.3 and 265.2.
Yeah, you don't usually have both fighters coming in right at the limit.
Over the limit. I mean,
Well,
over
yeah.
the pound allowance. Those are big boys.
All right, so Stefan Struve and Ben Rothwell is set.
And we have another break.
And we have another break. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fighters left to weigh in. We're still waiting on Alistair Overeem, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Cynthia Calvillo, Aspen Ladd, Ricky Simone, Tim Means, Matt Sales, and Joe Selecki.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. Just so you know, we are streaming to 3.5 potential viewers. 3.5 billion potential viewers. The billion was an important word I skipped. Oh, looks like we have someone coming in very soon. A lightweight, it seems like. So most likely it's going to be Joe Selecki. It would not be good if it was Aspen Ladd. So I was just going to say thank you to all our 3.5 billion potential viewers out there.
Okay, we got
All
Joe
right, next
Selecki
fighter
next.
to the scale in the 155-pound lightweight division, Joe Selecki.
Joe Selecki will be facing Matt Wyman, who already weighed in.
His last fight was in the Contender Series.
Is UFC debut?
Mm-hmm.
This is his UFC debut, and let's see if he makes weight. He looks good.
Yeah, seems like it. Yep. All right. Wow.
Yeah, thorough. Okay.
Thorough.
And here we go.
156.
All right.
That fight is official. Joe Selecki and Matt Wyman both have made weight at the lightweight limit.
So the first 3 fights of the night are now set. And we're just waiting on 7 more fighters.
Not just 7 more fighters.
The main
For
event.
The main event,
And the co-main.
half the co-main, and Aspen Ladd.
And Ricky Simone, Tim Means, Matt Sales. And it is 9:44, so fighters have about an hour and 15 minutes left to weigh in here in Washington, D.C.
Let's look at our wonderful user comments.
Any good comments?
People just like typing the word Habib.
Yeah, noticing that too. Mm-hmm. So if you are just tuning in, this is the ESPN 7, UFC on ESPN 7 weigh-ins. Overeem versus Rozenstruik
Demolition Man versus Biggie Boy.
in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena.
Bam, 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 bam.
Chewy Sanchez, it is a dumpster fire in here. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Tinfoil hat. These, they read these comments. Lord have mercy. Yes. I'm, yeah. Tinfoil hat is 100% correct.
Wow, they keep asking what time it is. It's 9:46 a.m.
So just to update you, the UFC media spread here, the food they provide for the media before the weigh-ins, there is no honeydew, and this is fantastic news.
Do you think I have time to go get coffee?
Are you asking our users? Are you asking our viewers at home? I don't know, let's see what they think. Does Esther have time to get coffee? Can we get a warm-up?
Sure.
You have time to get me coffee?
I have time to get you coffee.
A little bit of foam on top. Thank you. Yeah, glad we got rid of the girls. This guy talk. Yeah. Sports. So Chewy Sanchez asked, are there any vegan options for the media? Yes, you can just drink coffee and maybe a couple of grapes. Okay, guys. Not a Habib time. I get it.
All right. I'm going to take a croissant break now. Well, Casey edits what we've had so far. Frankie Joseph, Overeem has not weighed in yet. Nobody in the main event has weighed in.
So I'm going through our footage we've shot, and I have to do some editing to the Bryce Mitchell weigh-in appears.
Somebody would like to know where MMA Fighting found these two. I think they're referring to us. Little known fact that I just remembered like a couple weeks ago. Did you know it was our 10th anniversary working for MMA Fighting in October?
You completely missed it. Oh yeah,
We missed it. 10 years. How about those nationals?
Get it.
Jonathan, sorry. Casey is an Astros fan. We're being told that Rozenstruik is on his way down. Thank you, Chewy. Hi, View Seeker. Amanda Nunes versus Jermaine Durandamy is on next week's card in Las Vegas.
Simple mistake.
Quiet Thing would like to know if you think Overeem should retire if he gets KO'd again.
Absolutely not. He should retire if he wants to retire. Now, as a fan, you can choose not to watch his fights anymore. But if he wants to keep fighting, keep on fighting.
Yeah, generally, I'm on the side of the fighters deciding on their own when they would like to retire.
But we want
by, everybody.
All right.
Our next fighter to the scale
We got Biggie Boy coming up.
will be one half of your main event of the evening, Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
This very enthusiastic fan here is fantastic. It's so nice to have this much energy early in the morning.
Weighing in with a Crystal. Biggie Boy is part of Team Crystal.
Shout out Jose Young.
Shout out to Crystals.
$250.5.
250 pounds with a crystal.
How heavy do you think the crystal is?
30.
Brian Kelleher is also on Team Crystal.
Welcome to Team Crystal. So just to recap, Biggie Boy with a crystal weighed in 250.5 pounds. We are now waiting for his opponent, the Demolition Man, Overeem, to weigh in. We also have Cynthia Calvillo left, Aspen Ladd,
Ricky Simone
Ricky Simone, and Matt Sales.
and Tim Means.
Oh, I'm sorry, and Tim Means.
6 fighters left, correct? Yes.
Of those 6, Ladd and Calvillo have had a history of trouble making weight. Calvillo always makes weight, but sometimes doesn't look so good, but we'll see.
Frank Borelli wants to know if we know who was doing commentary for this card. I don't actually.
Do not know. Luckily, it would not be us.
So, good morning. This is Esther Lynn and EKC Leiden. We are here in Washington, D.C. at the official weigh-ins for UFC on ESPN 7, Overeem versus Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik has weighed in at 250.5. Overeem has not weighed in yet. In the co-main, we have Marina Rodriguez, who came in at 115.5, but we are awaiting Cynthia Calvillo. To round out the main card, we have Stefan Struve, who came in at 265.3, Ben Rothwell, who came in at 265.2.
Now, I don't know, maybe this is a Mike Bond question, but is this the heaviest heavyweight fight we've ever seen? I don't know.
I'm sure somebody knows the answer. Justin Pallett would like to know what fight I am most excited for. I am most excited for Verna Janjiroba versus Mallory Martin.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yes, it's the second fight of the night.
Second
but
fight of the night. Yeah, actually, I would say as far as as far as potential, and 2 women I think will be top contenders at least in the strawweight division. Yeah, Janjiroba and Mallory Martin for sure.
Ryan would like to know if Luke Thomas is here. He is not here, but he will be at the MMA Media Symposium at the Grand Hyatt, being hosted by American University, later from 12 to 2. So if you're in DC, come by. Naveed would like to know if there is any mobile phone camera that performs decently compared to the equipment that I use for high quality photography. So there's something that can do high speed. So like if you were to try to shoot sports, it would probably be a little blurry. However, I have a Google Pixel 3 and I use that pretty much exclusively for when I am on vacation. I don't want to carry my very heavy cameras. And I find it to be more than acceptable. The quality is more than acceptable.
People always ask you, Esther, what's the best camera? And the answer is always the camera you have on you.
Yes. Yeah, you should just always make sure you have something with you. Frank would like to know where this weigh-in is being held. We are at the Hilton here in Washington, D.C. Tommaso. Cynthia Calvillo has not weighed in yet. Ricky Simone will be next. Also, the pretzels are apparently delicious.
What was it? I'm sorry?
The pretzels are delicious, and Ricky Simone will be next.
Oh, breaking news. The pretzels are delicious.
Until he gets here, Koi Dung would like to know what drew me to cover MMA in my early career, and actually, it was kind of an accident. I used to work in commercial production in Los Angeles, and production stills, and post-production, and all that kind of stuff. And Casey and I got hired to do a pilot for the now defunct Elite XC. And rest history, really. Brought my camera to a fight. Turned out I had pretty decent timing for this stuff.
The very first MMA card you ever shot was a regional card shot at a gym. And
No limits.
the promotion was No Limits, defunct No Limits, and the late Shane Del Rosario was on it. I think he was I'm pretty sure he was the only UFC Bellator, potential UFC Bellator fighter that was on that card. Jiva Santana was also on it. He was
Jiva Santana,
before there was Ronda Rousey. He was the original arm collector.
he was the original arm collector, correct?
I think those are the two most notable names on that card. What was the first televised card shot?
Oh, well, I did go to the K1 Dynamite USA card, but I didn't shoot all of the fights. I just shot a couple of the fights. That was the one where Brock.
Lesnar, Jake
David.
Shields,
Yeah.
who else? Tokoro was on that.
Yep.
JZ Cavalcante. Oh, of course, Gracie Sakuraba.
Yep.
Those two guys.
The 135-pound bantamweight division, Ricky Simone.
That's a beautiful haircut.
That is a really good mullet.
$135.2.
Ricky Simone coming in at 135.2 and throwing up the horns. So the
fight is
two
official.
bantamweight bouts on the card are now official. The two men's bantamweight fights rather. We're still waiting on Cynthia Calvillo and Aspen Ladd, and Alistair Overeem, Tim Means, and Matt Sales. So 5 fighters left to weigh in.
Tim Means usually does not have an issue making welterweight, but he has been out for injury. He suffered I'm not sure if it was an ankle injury or knee injury in his last fight. And I'm not sure if Matt Sales has issues making featherweight. But Ladd and Calvillo, we'll see what happens. Wasn't Aspen Ladd a former featherweight? I mean, sorry, not featherweight, a 125er?
Yes, she fought flyweight.
Originally fought flyweight
In
in
Invicta. But she was very young, and
Yeah. Still is. Aspen Ladd, without a doubt, is one of the definitely most talented prospects at bantamweight, but her weight cutting issues are kind of scary because she's clearly not a 45er.
Chewy Sanchez, Overeem is probably still asleep. Yeah, that's
what we're guessing. That's the
pretty likely, actually.
To me, honestly, if they're doing the face-offs right after this, there's no reason for Overeem to show up until maybe like 10:50, like 10 minutes before the actual weigh-ins in. He's a man that's much like his striking, very efficient. I'm sure his use of time and his sleep is also very efficient.
Yes. He's still still the most accurate striker in the UFC. Still the
At least at heavyweight.
most accurate heavyweight striker. All right.
By a significant degree. So let's take a look at our user comments. Any winners? Any good questions we got, Esther? Tell the guy. No. Jeremy H, you gonna get blocked.
Oh, I thought it was free.
A lot of interest still in next week's card.
Yeah, well, actually, this is a good question. This is not a question, but it reminds me of a question. Someone had mentioned all 3 belts changing hands next week. Next week, if there are any belts changing hands, who do you think?
If Nunes wants to make this a stand-up fight with Jermaine, there's a high chance that the belt could switch. I think if Nunes makes this a wrestling match and takes it to the ground, judging by their performances historically, should have a significant advantage. But if Jermaine can keep the fight standing, or Nunes chooses to strike with Jermaine, then that's a definitely toss-up. Volkanovski, man, we just don't. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how good he is. It's one of those things. I'm picking Max, but like if Volkanovski just wins by decision, I wouldn't be shocked. Now if he finishes Holloway, that would be really shocking. But if he can just use his quickness and his footwork and his just like kind of basically how he just kind of befuddled Aldo.
Thing is,
We'll see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Our next fighter to the scale in the 145-pound featherweight division, Matt Sale.
It looks like they're bringing out the hoop of shame for Matt. Okay, let's wait till that curtain's up before you take off the underwear.
This is Matt Sales' third fight in the UFC.
It's interesting. They're not making him hold his hands up above the curtain. He has to weigh under 146 pounds. He does not look great.
He does not look happy.
148.5.
148.5 for Matt Sales.
Coming in 2.5 pounds over the limit.
Matt Sales is fighting Bryce Mitchell. Seemed to have a slightly hard time getting back on the scale there.
Well, let's just hope he clears his medicals and this fight still happens. That would be quite a shame to lose that fight.
Yeah.
For each fighter, obviously.
Yeah, it's a good bout.
Okay, he's going to the Powerade. And, let's hope the doctors checks him out and he's in good health. Now I'm not sure if he has 2 hours or not. Actually, it changes every state.
But he just drank some
Oh, he did.
liquid.
Yeah, so I think he's done.
I think he's done cutting. So we have 4 fighters left now. We've got Alistair Overeem, Cynthia Calvillo, Aspen Ladd, and Tim Means. This is Esther Lynn and EKC Leiden of MMAfighting.com, live at the UFC on ESPN 7 weigh-ins. Okay, I'm just going to go back and see. I think there was a question earlier. Someone was asking how long it takes to do the timelines.
It takes a while.
It takes a very long time. Casey here writes up the script and the outline and then has to pull all those video clips from the past, and then I go through and I build all the graphics and I pull all the photos from the past, and I have a 12-year archive to pull from, so sometimes it takes a while.
But that's really in the pre-production, the organization, weeks before, years before, to get out to make sure our files are labeled correctly and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, and correct Kevin DiLiberto, we are speaking quietly because we are in a room full of media and we're trying to be respectful. There are a lot of other people recording video in this room, and it would be rude to speak over their videos.
Thank you, Chewy Sanchez. I appreciate it.
El Fantasma would like to know, how do you become an MMA journalist?
You get out there and find stories and tell them.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So for the timeline fans, we will be having a Amanda Nunes Duran Durandamine timeline coming out this Sunday.
Monday maybe, actually.
Maybe Monday. Sunday
Yeah,
or
because
Monday.
we actually have some really good stuff coming this weekend. Features for next week's bout, so there's just so many.
So we will be having. Well, we will have timelines for all 3 championship fights.
Yes. Agent 47, like or hate Death Stranding. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I actually am pretty bummed. I haven't had any time to play any games.
I've noticed we had a couple of user comment on they like my sexy voice. Thank you. I'm assuming it was that my sexy voice when I talk like this.
Yes.
So we got the Demolition Man coming up. Ooh, Chewy Sanchez. Bad brains or minor threats?
Oh.
Come on, man. They're both. That's not fair. You
That's not fair.
can't ask a question like that. That's just not fair. But I will. I was gonna say I listen to minor threat more. Okay, I listen to minor threat like individual songs more, but I think as albums, I listen to Bad Brains more. No, we do not sell the published photos, but they are all over the internet for free.
I am hoping one day to release some prints for sale and some books and things like that, but
We'll get there when we get there.
we'll get there when we get there. There's a lot to go. A lot of stuff to
Crooked
get there.
Coyote. Casey's mustache is poetry.
Oh, and indeed it is. Indeed it is. Someone would like to know where Crystal and Scissors are. I'm assuming that refers to Jose and Pizzi. And
Oh, wait, sorry, correction. It was your voice, not my voice.
oh, okay.
My bad. Awkward.
Jose is at home, and Pizzi is also at home.
Easy. They could have been here, but they just, no, I'm gonna wait this one out. I'm just gonna sit on my butt at home and look at my crystals.
But Jose will be with us in Las Vegas next week at UFC 245. El Fantasma would like to know if you need any academic background to become a MMA journalist. Well, I would say actually all of our writers have college degrees at MMA fighting, many of whom have journalism degrees.
Reading in college helps. Yeah.
I myself have a Bachelor of Arts in Film Production and Directing.
I read a couple books.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you're from Texas, you know.
I'm from Texas. I'm a product of the Texas public education school systems things.
See?
So.
Your comments are more updated than mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mine are coming in I would say 30 seconds after yours, maybe longer.
Weird.
Common Sense would like to know if he graduated from a top law school. Is MMA journalism the move? No, it is not. MMA journalism does not pay well.
We're talking money now. What are we talking about now?
I'm just saying.
Well, if you're going to go into journalism in general, in any field,
MMA is a difficult field. It's a very small field.
Well,
There's not very many positions and not very many paid full-time positions in this.
but I would say that for every single thing in MMA, from coaching to fighting to promotion, the opportunities are very limited and hard to come by, and takes a little luck and hard work.
Yeah. That's true.
Do many of you journos train? Yeah, sure. A few of those journos train.
Yeah. Yeah, a few of us do. Any word on the new UFC game? Nope. Don't know.
I have been.
Can you hold a magic curtain for a naked lady? Because I prefer that as well.
Oh, it looks like we have one of our either Lad or Calvillo coming up soon, and
They're gonna need the hoop.
we're gonna need a hoop. So they are requesting a woman to hold the hoop, which makes a lot of sense.
Did they finally sew a liner in that?
I think so. I think they, or at least it's doubled up at least. Which is interesting though. They didn't. I mean, the other guy he weighed in, Nat Sales weighed in way over, but without making the fighters hold their hands above the curtain, they don't know if they're tugging on the curtain on the inside.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the whole kind of point. You have to hold your hands up.
Mm-hmm.
Just for just to experiment, we did the little elbow trick that Gastelum allegedly attempted.
All right, here we go, everybody. Our next fighter to the scale is in the women's strawweight division, the 115-pound division. Ladies and gentlemen, Cynthia Calvillo.
Cynthia Calvillo coming out with her trainer, Justin Buckles.
Just kidding, they didn't sew the liner in. Here comes the white towel.
Oh, the white towel. Why is there no liner?
They should just sew, if they just sew a layer of white on the inside of that hoop, then they wouldn't have to keep holding a towel in front of it.
And the hoop is up. She needs to weigh in at 116 pounds.
It's very tense in this room.
Okay. It looks like they have a decision.
120.5.
Wow. Cynthia Calvillo weighs in at 120.5. That is,
Significantly over.
yes, 4.5 pounds over the limit for strawweight.
Oh boy.
Wow.
In her co-main event, Cynthia Calvillo weighs in 120.5. Her opponent weighed in at under the limit at 115.5.
I guess it'll remain to be seen if Marina Rodriguez will take the fight. So now we have 3 fighters left to weigh in. Everyone's weighed in except for Alistair Overeem, Aspen Ladd, and Tim Means. And just to recap right now, Cynthia Calvillo came in at 120.5, and she's scheduled to fight Marina Rodriguez at 115, who came in at 115.5. So it's a 5-pound difference there. We'll see what the commission says, and
Well, you have to see if Marina will take the fight.
have to see if Marina will take the fight, and we'll try to keep you updated on.
Yeah. Now, Marina, she was a semi-late notice. Original opponent was Claudia Gadelha. She comes in on weight, and Cynthia comes in significantly over. And we also, early in the prelims, Matt Sales, who's fighting Bryce
All right, ladies
Mitchell.
and gentlemen, next up.
Also missed weight at 148.5. So far, only 2 fighters have missed weight. Now we have Tim Means.
Albuquerque zone. Okay, he looks like he's going to be on weight.
171.5.
Never mind.
That you missed weight at 171.5. Want the towel?
Said he was under backstage? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just, yeah, because
Ooh, are the scales slightly different?
well, we know that those shorts should only weigh 0.3
Yeah.
from earlier. So exciting times for the hoop today. Lots of hoop of shame action. Excuse me. Thank you. Let's see how much his Reebok shorts weigh. Exciting weigh-ins in Washington, D.C. today. Yeah. Ooh, weird.
Goodness. Really? Wow. I really would have given it to him.
Hold on, we don't know the weight. They're saying he's I think they're saying he's 0.1 over, which is on a beam scale that's pretty much impossible to read. That's why they need a freaking digital scale. But there's a lot of subjectivity to this scale. Oh boy. So it looks like they're saying right behind. So before these fighters weigh on the official scale, they weigh on another scale right behind the wall. It's supposed to be the same weight, so they know what their weighing is.
So Tim Means is going to
So-
go backstage and check.
What happened?
Commissioner?
What was the weight? They aren't telling us the weight.
Oh, okay. So they'll keep the underwear weight nothing.
Height,
171.5.
All right. So it seems like the underwear did not weigh anything at all. 171.5 for Tim Means.
Yeah,
He's
so-
going backstage to check his weight. I believe he still has till 11 a.m. though, so he may elect to cut that
We're
last
not
half pound.
sure.
We don't know yet.
I don't know how this works. It changes state to state. So, all right.
Oh, the scale has moved a little though, so maybe it needs to be recalibrated because Tim Means swears that he made weight backstage, which he did.
Which, if a fighter walks out like that,
He seemed
but-
really confident.
Yeah, because they know what they're gonna weigh when they weigh on the scale, because they weigh in right before they walk out behind this wall. Which is the interesting part though, is like his shorts made no change, but in the other fighter, he lost 0.3 pounds. So, okay. The answer is use a digital scale.
Yeah, that is the answer.
Use a digital scale. If anyone's ever actually used a beam scale, maybe at the doctor's office, you know that
It's a little bit of leeway there.
yeah, there's a bit, yeah. I mean, the little counterweight at the end is swinging all the time.
Yep.
So, really, within, I would almost say a pound and a half, you can really go either way almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they're kind of giving these 0.2, 0.1, 0.3 is, I have no idea how you actually determine a 0.2 on a scale like that when there isn't really there's no exact like level on it. You just kind of go, okay, the beam's not moving that much. I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah. So now the commission is talking to Mark Ratner.
Yeah, so. This is all very silly and unnecessary if they just went to a local Walmart and bought a digital scale. Or
I think they
Best
might need-
Buy, Amazon.com.
Maybe slightly more professional scale than that, though. Yeah,
But I think that scale looks very professional, but clearly it is not.
Mallard Toledo does make a digital scale.
Look at that. So you see where I'm pointing at right here. Oops, that's out of focus now. That is so if you see right there, that is the digital scale that they use, the calibrated digital scale they use backstage. A lot of times those scales are also in the fighter workout rooms where they check their weight all week, and the fighters go by that scale that you're seeing right now, or a scale similar to that one. May not be the exact one, but those are the digital scales that the fighters use all week
To check their weight.
check their weight, and then it's the scale they literally jump on backstage right before they walk out in front of the cameras. to
So
make
they
s-
have an expectation and they know what they're going to weigh in at.
So this is a unique situation.
Certainly. And if you're just tuning in, we are still waiting on Alistair Overeem and Aspen Ladd, and we're waiting to hear back from the Commission and the UFC on Tim Means, who first weighed in at 171.5, but contested that he actually weighed in on weight backstage. So we'll have to wait and see.
The odd thing also is when Tim Means weighed in with his shorts on, he came in at 171.5, took his shorts off, he weighed exactly the same, which is odd because I think it was, which fighter came in, when they put their shorts on, they lost 0.3 pounds. But a fighter, or it may have been Joe Selecki, but a fighter weighed in slightly over 0.3, took his shorts off, re-weighed in, and came in at the correct weight. When Tim Means took his shorts off, he lost no weight, which doesn't make sense. And this is all because the beam scale isn't that accurate. It's accurate to like the pound. It's not accurate to the quarter pound, to the half pound, to the tenth of a pound, which they're
Correct,
going
because
for.
it's still moving.
It's still moving.
Yeah.
And
It's actually still moving right now.
Yeah, it's still moving. And you're just waiting. And you're waiting for it just when it's in the middle, not like. And there's in the middle is kind of arbitrary, to be honest.
Oh, Thiago Alves was the 0.3.
It was Thiago Alves.
Oh, interesting. So,
Yeah, so Thiago Alves had his shorts weighed 0.3 pounds, but Tim Means' shorts weighed nothing of it, I guess.
yeah, thank you, Guilherme, for the note there. I'm going to check in with our colleagues over at MMA Fighting. And see if there are any updates or notes on their side. But from us here in DC, nothing yet. Oh, here comes
All right,
Overeem.
ladies and gentlemen, our next fighter to the scale is our main event of the evening in the heavyweight division, Alistair Overeem.
With 29 minutes to spare and not taking off the shirt.
So we have some commissions like in New York, which made Arlovsky take out everything out of his pockets and his shorts. But then we have guys like in this commission that's Overeem weighing in his street clothes, which is yeah.
In California, they make you take your socks and jewelry off, too.
Yeah, maybe it was California I'm thinking of, but yeah.
Yeah, New York also.
248 even.
5 seconds, Alistair, right here.
See, 248 even for Alistair Overeem, but how much do you think the sweats weigh?
So with shoes, sweats, who knows what's in his pockets.
Right.
So, I mean,
It's fine.
it's fine.
Heavyweight, but
Yeah, who cares?
exactly. Who cares?
Is Tim Means re-weighing in, or are we waiting? Do we know? we haven't got word if Tim Means is actually re-weighing in or not. I assume he is. I'm a good assumption he is re-weighing in.
So, in case you are just tuning in, the main event is set with Alistair Overeem weighing in at 248. Biggie Boy, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, coming in at 250.5. In the co-main, Cynthia Calvillo missed weight and came in at 120.5. Her opponent, Marina Rodriguez, came in at 115.5, and we are waiting to hear back from the commission in the UFC on the what's going to happen with that bout. And Stefan Struve came in at 265.3, Ben Rothwell at 265.2. We are still waiting on Aspen Ladd. She's actually the last person to weigh in.
And I assume we're waiting for Tim Means to re-weigh in because we still have 30 minutes.
Yes, and we're still waiting on Tim Means, 25 minutes to see if Tim Means will re-weigh in, considering the scale up front here said 171.5, the one in back said 171. Yeah, so again, if you're just tuning in, everybody has weighed in except for Aspen Ladd. We are waiting on bantamweight Aspen Ladd, and also waiting to see if Tim Means will re-weigh.
Jason Momoa, and I was like, oh my god, he's stealing cases.
What a jerk.
People keep asking why we're whispering, and I have to keep reminding them we're in a room full of other media who are also recording. It's like a golf match. Who are also recording the weigh-ins, and I'm trying to be polite and not interfere with their streams or their recordings.
You always talk like this.
Oh yeah, no, I always talk like this. Correct.
I'm not sure which is the correct way to speak right now. Like, yo, we are the weigh-ins. Friday morning, Washington, D.C. Demolition Man, weighing in 248. See, that sounds weird.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
No,
No, not into it.
No, not into it. Will Aspen Ladd make weight?
What's up? What's up?
Waka.
If you're just tuning in to
I
the weigh-ins,
apologize. If you're just tuning in, I apologize.
If you're just tuning in, we are at the UFC on ESPN 7 weigh-ins here in Washington, D.C., and everyone on the card has weighed in except for Aspen Ladd. She needs to make the bantamweight limit in the next 24 minutes. We're also waiting to see if Tim Means will re-weigh, or just some update on him, because in the front here he weighed in at 171.5, but in the back where they check their weights before coming out, he made the welterweight limit, so we'll have to see what happens there. But as for the rest of the card, everyone made weight except for Cynthia Calvillo and Matt Sales. Cynthia Calvillo came in at 120.5 for her strawweight bout against Marina Rodriguez, and Matt Sales came in at 148.5 for his featherweight bout against Bryce Mitchell.
Now, the Tim Means, it seems like there seems to be a bit of a scale issue, and I think he's coming back to re-weigh in. We haven't heard exactly, but that would be the assumption. But with Calvillo and Sales coming in significantly over, I would assume that a scale issue isn't the issue.
So I'm just going to go ahead and people are kind of asking about earlier on the card, so I'm just going to go through and read the weights again. So from the bottom up, we got the first fight of the night. Trevor Smith weighed in at 185.5, and he'll be fighting Mahmoud Muradov, who came in at 185.3. Next up, we have Verna Janjiroba, weighed in at 115 on the dot, and she'll be fighting Mallory Martin, who weighed in at 115.5. Then we've got Matt Wyman, who came in at 155.3 for his lightweight bout against Joe Selecki, who came in at 156. Matt Sales missed weight at 148.5 in his bout against Bryce Mitchell, who came in at 145.2. The next fight is also a featherweight bout with Billy Quarantillo coming in at 145.2 against Jacob Kilburn at 145.3. Thiago Pitbull Alves came in at 171, and we are waiting to see if Tim Means will reweigh in. He came in at 171.5 out here in front, so we'll see. Rob Font and Ricky Simone both made the bantamweight limit. Rob Font coming in at 135.1 and Ricky Simone at 135.2. Song Yadong came in at 135.2, the exact same weight as Cody Stamen, 135.2. Yana Kunitskaya came in at 135.1, and we are waiting on Aspen Ladd. Ben Rothwell and Stefan Struve both came in at 265, or over 265 rather, with Ben Rothwell coming in at 265.2 and Struve at 265.3. And in the main event, we're going to skip the co-main here for a second. In the main event, Alistair Overeem, the Demolition Man, came in at 248 against Jairzinho Biggie Boy Rozenstruik at 250.5. And again, in the co-main, Cynthia Calvillo missed weight by 4 pounds, coming in at 120.5 in her bout against Marina Rodriguez, who weighed in at 115.5. We are just waiting on Aspen Ladd, and we have not yet heard if Tim Means will reweigh.
It's a believe so, I think.
Okay.
It would make sense, I would think. Yeah. I think he was fine with dumping whatever, half a pound.
I missed the beginning of that question, but someone I think was asking if we could ask Aspen Ladd what it's like how she is able to go to college while fighting UFC.
I don't think she's in the state right now to take questions about her education right now. But in the future, we'll... Hey, Aspen, I know you're dying right now, but how's college? No, I'm very interested, though.
Oh, Tisha Torres got her master's degree while she was fighting the UFC.
Good for her?
So did Jennifer Maya, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested in these fighters getting outside education while they're professional fighters.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how many... what I'd like to know is how many fighters have advanced degrees.
Oh, look at you. Just a regular old bachelor's ain't all fancy anymore. Oh, I got my master's. I got my PhD.
Boo. Right, it's 10:41 a.m. here in D.C., so we have 19 minutes left for Aspen Ladd to make weight. 19
And we assume
minutes.
Tim Means will be coming out again, too.
Yes.
Okay, and welcome back. We still have 15 more minutes before the weigh-in's over, and we are still
All right,
waiting.
everybody.
Oh, there we
Our
go.
last fighter to the scale in the 135 women's bantamweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, Aspen Ladd. Woo!
Ask me why. She does look like she has the kind of appearance that she's on weight, so. And she is in the hoop. That's the night getting on the scale.
All right.
$136 even.
And Aspen Ladd makes weight. 136 even.
Oh, is Okay, we're still gaining word. We're still waiting for word if 10 means is reweighing in.
Aspen Ladd makes
Just a
weight
quick
at
update. We're going to have
136.
stare downs, face-offs here at 11 o'clock. And we do have one other fighter who's going to reweigh, so please stand by for that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna move.
Yeah, you can
So
just get right to your spot. Okay, so the ceremonial face-offs will be at 11, a little bit after 11 p.m. And right now we have 13 more minutes for Tim Means to reweigh in. He came in at 171.5. So looks like he's going to still try to reweigh in to make the official welterweight limit.
Well, yeah, we got SFO and then SFO Soul and then Soul. Oh no, I go straight to the That's the flight. Yeah, but I gotta get my one.
Do that.
That's finally gonna make one.
I was ready to help.
Took me all year.
I was, yeah, I just.
Thank you.
I know, right? Plus points. How? Yeah, how?
So, Nick.
So, like, this all-star line is just so, we got it. Good. I have, like, status and stuff like that. This is not, like, but I'm gonna lose it. Right. It's a perk.
Well, I mean, he does have a face-off. He could have a face-off.
Because I'm trying to hold it on my settings to her.
So I just have to figure this out.
I figured the face-offs would be way different. Here he is. All right, let's go.
Stand by, everybody.
Okay, now we have Tim, the Dirty Bird Means, coming out to reweigh in. He originally weighed at 171.5, took his shorts off and weighed at the same weight. he was very unhappy with the weight, saying that he came in on weight with the scale they had backstage. So let's see. Okay.
171 even.
You heard it, 171 even. Tim means mixed weight.
Straight ahead, baby. 5.
All right, well, that will conclude the official weigh-in. Stay tuned for the ceremonial face-offs in just about 10 minutes, so no reason to go anywhere. Keep it on this stream that you're watching right now. And, take a little coffee break, walk the dog, get a good stretch, and make sure you come back right here to this channel, this YouTube stream, and check out the UFC DC official, ceremonial face-offs in just a few minutes, 10 minutes.
So we'll be
Face-off, we can't have 11 o'clock.
What I gotta preface though, that's what my combo is. So no, I'm serious.
Okay, and a quick little news update. I just been informed from the UFC that Marina Rodriguez has accepted her fight against Cynthia Calvillo, and she will be taking 30% of her purse, her show money. And Bryce Mitchell has accepted his match against Matt Sales, and he will be taking 20%. Matt Sales came in at 148.5, the limit being 146, and Cynthia Calvillo came in at 120.5, with the limit being 116 pounds. So all 12 fights are a go for tomorrow night's festivities, with only Matt Sales and Cynthia Calvillo coming in overweight. Aspen Ladd did make the weight, 136. She came in about 15 minutes before the buzzer, but looks like she was fine, timed it out right. Didn't look too bad relative to her previous weigh-ins. And everyone else came in on weight. Stefan, Struve, and Ben Rothwell both came in over 165, but under the 166 weight limit. That was two big boys. And the main event, Overeem came in at 248 pounds, fully clothed with shoes, and Drew. Man, he's gonna be. I need to learn to say his name better. Rozenstruik came in, Biggie Boy, I prefer to call him, came in at 250.5 pounds. So slightly heavier than Overeem. And stay tuned, we'll be having the official face-offs in less than 10 minutes.
because he's been able to book everything. Now, because he can't book his own travel. So with American, is it like if you were to pay for an upgrade like the day of or like that within that final hour, or is your same situation? Yeah, that's good. So you'll. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's not good. Yeah.
That's not good. My crew. Oh yeah. Bro, I know. I thought he asked you. Tell Elliot to build your barrier. Oh, Kenny's barrier guy? We were telling Nick we gotta find the barrier specialist to build a cage to protect from the media.
That's another job I have to do.
I know. I couldn't remember if it was you or Elliot, the barrier specialist.
Me.
Okay.
Stanchions, Kenny Stanchions.
Kenny
Not
Stanchions.
Elliot Stanchions. Kenny
Kenny
Stanchions.
Stanchions. Now we know.
That's a selfie right there. Hold on.
Hello, welcome back. It is 11 a.m. in Washington, D.C. The ceremonial face-offs should be happening any time now. Just recap. All fighters have made weight except for Cynthia Calvillo, who came in at 120.5 pounds, and Matt Sales, who came in at 148.5.
everybody. Here we go. All right, folks, thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you all for coming out to the official weigh-in this morning. UFC Fight Night, Overeem versus Rozenstruik. We begin with the ESPN Plus prelims live 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night from Capital One Arena. First bout in the middleweight division, Mahmoud Murada versus Trevor Smith. All right, next prelim, UFC strawweight division, Vina Janjidova versus the UFC newcomer Mallory Martin. All right, next up, ESPN prelims live, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. First up in the lightweight division, Joe Selecki versus the veteran Matt Wyman. All right, next up, first of two straight in the featherweight division, Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell versus Matt Sales. All right, next one also at featherweight. How about a hand for two guys making their UFC debuts here tomorrow night? Billy Quarantello versus Jacob Kilburn. All right, and our featured prelim live on ESPN, Thiago Pitbull Alves versus the Dirty Bird, Tim Means. All right, now to the main card on ESPN, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, UFC Fight Night, Overeem versus Rozenstruik. First up in the bantamweight division, Rob Font versus Ricky Simone. All right, next main card tilt also in the bantamweight division, 9th ranked Cody Stamann versus number 13 Song Yadong. All right, next up, two of the top 7 bantamweights in the world, Aspen Ladd versus Yana Kunitskaya.
Let's go, Yana, you got this.
All right, now to a featured bout in the UFC heavyweight division, Stefan Struve versus Big Ben Rothwell.
All right, now to the co-main event, UFC strawweight division, Marina Rodriguez versus Cynthia Calvillo.
Let's go, Cynthia.
Face forward.
All right, in your main event, the men on the marquee in the heavyweight division, Alistair Overeem versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Let's go, baby.
All right, that's your main event, folks. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Alistair Overeem. We will see you all tomorrow night at Capital One Arena. Thanks, y'all.
Casey.
Okay, and thank you very much. That will conclude our weigh-ins for the UFC
On ESPN 7
7.
here in Washington, D.C. Thank you from E. Casey Leiden and Esther Lynn. And we'll see you tomorrow night at the fights.
Whoop, whoop.